All right, boys, y'all get back to work.
All right.
We're going fishing.
See you, buddy.
See y'all. See you, Jared.
Take care, man.
All right, see y'all. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Rose Outdoors. We just got our bellies full right here at Greg and Jim's, where we normally eat lunch. We're going to a little pond right outside of town. We're gonna do a little springtime fishing. Y'all come join me.
Brother, it's a long road from Amistad to Toho. Doesn't matter which way you go, the miles are all the same. When you finally get there, when you pull the cover off, then it's time to get a little bit lost out on the lake. Gonna bag this boat into the water, find a way to win a couple dollars. Weatherman says there's a cold front coming down. Bring it on, I've seen it all by now. I can catch 'em shallow, I can catch 'em deep. Open water or the back of the creek. The wind and rain to me, it's all the same. I make a living playing this game, and I thank the Lord above every time I can. I get to be a fisherman.
All right, we just got our bellies full at Greg and Jim's in Colt, Arkansas. And we rode out to a little lake outside of town here, and we are about to just go fishing. I haven't been here since last year. Water temperature is 67 degrees. Don't know if they have spawned or if they're in the process of spawning. We might be able to see some if they are, but this water has got a good brown tint to it. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. I've got my gut feeling is telling me spinnerbait. You know, I feel like these fish have probably spawned, and a spinnerbait is an awful good bait to throw when you have a lot of cover around. I like a thunder cricket if there's not as much cover, just the vibration of it and everything, but those blades on a spinnerbait work just as effectively sometimes, and it's an awful good bait around cover. And as you can see, there's timber and things like that. You go on around. There's other types of cover, so I just have a good fit. And we're right here going into May when the shad will be spawning, so it could be fish feeding on a lot of shad right now around all this wood. And then we got some old standbys, you know, we got a swim jig, we got a rage bug for flipping, so I got a Strike King Ocho on, little Mustad, brand new Alpha Point hook. So hey, we're just gonna go fishing today, let it unfold. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let's go catch some. I'm gonna jump in the boat. Man, that's a chunk. Old Strike King Pro model spinnerbait. Nice chunk right there. That fish right there could be pre-spawn. Still fat, no signs of spawning. Half-ounce Strike King Pro model spinnerbait. I said when we rolled out here with this watercolor and the amount of cover, you know, I love throwing a thunder cricket, but there's a lot of wood in the water. I came over here on purpose to fish this wind-blown bank, and it didn't take long. Now see, that one looks just opposite. He looks post-spawn. I don't know, just because he's long and skinny. Another chunk though. I know they knocked the ever-living crap out of that spinnerbait. they're hitting it like away from the cover out in the open water. Again. Well, I could have hit. I'll come right down a log or over the top of a piece of cover. You think you're gonna have one roll on it, and then after it gets past the cover, halfway between it and the boat, is when they're eating it. All right, I'm gonna do a little flipping now. This just a lot of cover in here. Got old rage bug. Good hard bank where they could be spawning. Old 4-aught KVD grip pin. That's a really good hook to throw on a rage bug and any other type bait that you want to flip that's this size. A 4-aught grip pin, the thing I like about it is it's got the actual grip pin that holds that lure up there. It just helps you be efficient, man. When that lure is in and out of cover and stuff like that all the time, it really helps to have something that holds that bait on there really good. You know, when you guys come to a new body of water, and you don't know what to expect, a lot of times you have heard or you know somebody that's fished or whatever. I have not talked to anybody about this lake in a while. I'm just coming out here and going fishing. It's springtime. I've got a process that I would do, and it's, first of all, look at the water clarity, figure out kind of if it's going to be a finessey deal or what, and then immediately when you get out there, especially in the spring, look at your water temperature, look at what type of cover you're dealt with, all those types of things, and then just start running the gamut. I started out on the hard bank thinking, okay, they may be spawning. Instead of this open flooded cover, I wanted to try the bank first and caught a couple. But then I immediately came out here and started realizing that there's little high spots in this cover. So there's actually the possibility of them spawning on this bank because it gets real shallow in places. That means 2 foot right here. So that makes me not solely rely on the hard bank and know that they could be spawning right out here around all this brush and some of these little shallow humps. The water color tells me that this is really good spinnerbait water. You know, whenever that spinnerbait just shines all the way back to the boat down 5 feet, that's really, to me, not spinnerbait water unless you got a lot of wind and it's cloudy and you're moving it real fast. So it just really looks like spinnerbait flipping water to me. So that's what we're going to concentrate on. See, here's another little hump right here. Gets real shallow. There's a top right there. So we're just going to start flipping a rage bug around. And it didn't take long for us to get a bite. Boy, he smoked it twice. I got him the second time. He tried it the first time. Look at this, folks. This is why you run the gamut and you finally figure out what they're eating. And they're choking it like that. It's a good fish. That fish has been spawning or is spawning. We got us something elite. Thing I love about this bait, it's got a good keeper for a trailer. Good hook, good, you know, components, good quality hook. Just a very well built spinnerbait. There's got to be one in between those two trees right there. There he is. Ugh, some chunks, man. Y'all see them two trees right there? I said there's got to be one between those two trees. They are eating this Strike King Pro Model spinnerbait. It's a good fish. Boy, they're eating this Strike King spinnerbait. Strike King tour grade spinnerbait. All right, let's throw a little power shot around. You know, this is a fun little deal right here. Just a really short little 1/8 ounce drop shot weight. I've got a 1/0 finesse alpha point, brand new mustad hook. Man, I'm loving this hook. And a Fat Baby finesse worm, Morning Dawn. You can throw the 6.5 inch KBD perfect plastic worm. You can put a whatever. Fat Baby finesse is just an awful good one. But I love a little power drop shot in the springtime, really all the time. It's just a fun little, you can throw this on a bait caster, but I've got it on a little Team Lou's Elite. This is just a 6.5 inch or 6/8 medium action. And this is a shallow spool reel. These reels are perfect for light line, 8, 10, 12 pound line. And again, this is an 1/8 ounce, it's a really light rig, but I can throw this around. If you tried to do that with a normal spool on a normal bait caster, you'll just get lots of overruns. You know, you hear people say professional overrun, that's what a backlash is. But that's what happens. That spool on a normal size reel just gets to spinning so fast that you just, with light lures, it backlashes a whole lot easier. So when you're throwing light stuff, switch over to this little custom light shallow spool, and you'll find out you'll get a lot less backlashes. Boy, he had me up in some thick stuff. Man, this is fun. You're just talking about just having fun. Look at that rod, 12 pound line. A little 6/8 medium action. Oh, nice fish too. Chunk. But this little setup, man. The thing about the little custom light shallow spool is you don't need any backing. You don't waste a whole bunch of line. And man, you can fish some finesse lures. Jerkbait this is my new jerkbait reel. Whether I'm throwing 10 or 12, this is my jerkbait reel right here. And this rod right here is an awful good jerkbait rod. This is actually what I had on at the last tournament, throwing a jerkbait, Dale Holla. That just really didn't turn out to be a jerkbait deal, but nonetheless, what I'm trying to say, this is just a fun little fun little setup. Oh, man. Right as it come through, look just like over there. Ugh. That was right on the money. Man. Catch them on the old Strike King spinnerbait, y'all. You know, this company was started, Strike King Lure Company was started, Charles Spence, and that whole, I don't know if it was just him or whatever, but that was where it got started back in the day with Charles Spence, and it was, I think it was, he created a spinnerbait. That was the very first lure, and anyway, it's just got a lot of tradition, and we're out here catching them on a spinnerbait today, and I'm wearing the old vintage Strike King logo. Just a lot of tradition, I like to go back there and think about some of them good old days at Strike King with Denny Brower and Larry Nixon and George Cochran and Mark Davis and Shaw Grigsby and Greg Hackney and so many people that I have worn this shield alongside. Man, it just, it does my heart good to think about this company. Still alive, still bigger than ever, going strong today. And it just makes me think about my salvation. Every now and then you got to go back there and think about how once you realize that you were a sinner, lost, dying, going to hell, mine and your sin will not make it into heaven without the blood of Jesus paying that sin debt. And all it takes is putting our faith and trust in that, believing in that. Our sin, let me say it again, will not make it to heaven without the blood of Jesus covering it. He did it. He paid the penalty. It's paid in full for you, but we've got to put our faith and trust in that. Ephesians 2:8-9, I say it all the time. It says, for it is by grace are you saved through faith. Through faith. And it goes on to say, it's not you. It's not what you did. It's all what Jesus. That's the only way to get to heaven. And just like I like to reminisce about this old Strike King logo and the great times that I've had with this company at Blue Bank Resort and all these Kentucky Lake and writers conferences and spending time and rubbing elbows with the greats in this industry. And still today, a lot of young and up and coming guys that are wearing this logo. It's changed a little bit, the logo has, but the heart and the soul and the tradition of Strike King Lure Company still lives on today, just like Jesus. He still lives today. He's sitting right there at the right hand of the Father, and he's waiting on us. He's waiting on us to realize that we're lost, we're dying, and in that state, we're going to hell. But that he paid that sin debt for us, and all we got to do is believe in him, put our faith and trust in him. And man, it's just been a good day out here fishing, throwing old Strike King spinnerbait, going back in time, reminiscing, wearing the old Strike King logo. God bless y'all. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rose Outdoors. Until next time, good fishing. God bless.